And gentlemen, today we have another author interview. We are 2 weeks into this new series, and we have Hannah Diaz, and she sometimes goes by Hannah Carmona Diaz, and we can talk to her about that. But she is here on the eve, ladies and gentlemen, on the eve of her big launch, her picture book launch. Now, I am Maria Dismondy. I am a children's publisher, former children's author, and actually I'm extra excited to have Hannah here today because she is going to be publishing a book with our company, Cardinal Rule Press, that will be released in April. And we are in the final stages of wrapping up that book. So welcome, Hannah.
Thank you.
You are welcome. So happy eve of release. Tell us a little bit about, let's start from the beginning. Let's not go there yet.
Okay.
Let's start from the beginning and let's talk about you. So tell us about what made you want to become a writer? Like, were you always a writer and a reader as a child? Let's go way back.
I was always a writer and a reader. Ever since I was like really young, I would have like a huge bookshelf just full of books. And I would actually write stories in between class. And like while kids would like pass notes, I would pass a notebook to my friends and I'd be like, can you read this story and write notes in there for me? And so I remember one day the teacher like got hold of the notebook and was like, these aren't notes. I was like, no, it's my book. And so I've
Oh.
been writing for a long time. I kind of took a break once I got to college. I really slowed down on my writing and even my reading, sadly. And that's kind of, I think I needed that in my life because then I realized how much I missed it. And so then when I did dive back in, like I really dove back in, I was like, I'm going to do this thing.
And tell us, so you are in creative arts in theater. So is that what your degree was from college?
Yes, I majored in theater and then minored in musical theater.
And that's part of what you do now. Tell us a little bit about that because it kind of all comes together. All of your jobs and all of your passions are in creative arts.
Yes, I own my own children's theater. I'm in Tennessee here, and so I own one here in Tennessee, and we teach creative dance, creative theater, everything from the ages of 3 all the way up to high school. We'll actually be offering a film class. We're expanding out now, and so it's really exciting.
That's
And then
awesome.
in addition, I work part-time with the school as their drama teacher, so that's been really fun too.
So you get drama all over
Oh, I
in every
do.
aspect.
Yes, I mean, my kids, all they hear is musicals, and all they see is mommy like working on the next play, or like they come see all the shows, and
I love it. And then you have a now 2-year-old. I think her birthday was yesterday. Is that correct?
today,
Oh, today. So you're
yay!
going to have even more drama in your life.
Oh, we are, yes. I mean, she really went into the terrible twos. This morning we went into the room and it was trashed, and she's just like, "Good morning."
Happy birthday. And
Yes.
people are probably like, how do you know when her daughter's birthday is? I have to say, I follow you on Instagram and you are so much fun. You are one of those people who it's like a breath of fresh air. There's reality, there's laughter, there's humor, there's sadness. There's just a lot going on and I love it. So you guys all have to follow her on Instagram. She's so much fun. So let's go back. You were not reading and writing personally so much in college because I mean that happens because we have to do our focus on what we're majoring and minoring in. And then after college, did you say I tell us about the submission process and when you decided to submit and how that all worked?
Yeah, so it was actually towards my senior year of college that I went to a couple workshops, writing workshops. And so I dipped my toes back in there and I was like, I really want to do this. And so I wrote at least 10 books, 10 books before I had one published. And honestly, I look at some of those first books, I'm like, oh, this is why this wasn't published. It's funny when you go back and you look at your old material. I think most writers can relate to this, but that first book that I wrote right out of college and I was getting back in, I was like, this is it. This is my book. And I like sent it out like the next day. Biggest mistake of my life. Because I was so
Forget editing.
excited. Yes, forget editing. I just wanted it to get it out there to an agent or a publisher or somebody. I learned my lesson with that.
Okay.
But
And you are working with tell us about your publisher and the title of the book that's coming out tomorrow. Give us a little update on what that book is all about.
Yeah, so the book that did get picked up is called Beautiful, Wonderful, Strong Little Me. Funny enough, the title changed through the process of this about three
Oh,
times.
did it?
Yes. That's through iFrick Publishing, though. They kind of helped me settle on a title. I was back and forth. When I submitted the book to them, it had a totally different title. And we worked together and came up with a new one. But it's been such a fun process. It was a lot of rejection leading up to that. And I've told some of my students in story times and stuff, I had 100 rejections on that specific book before iFrick Publishing even picked it up. And so, but now it comes out tomorrow.
That's excellent. Now, I know also you have recently finished writing a middle grade novel. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So in addition to picture books, I was crazy enough to decide one day I also want to write a novel. And so this novel kind of pulled from my heritage. So it's about a chupacabra and a girl who goes on basically a monster hunt after the chupacabra. I don't know if you're familiar.
Tell us.
The chupacabra is, I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican. And so that's kind of like our, I don't know, Loch Ness monster or whatever other, like our Godzilla or whatever. It's the bloodthirsty monster that, you know, if you don't eat your vegetables, the chupacabra is going to come and get you.
That's awesome.
So in this book, the girl Nita discovers that he's real, and she goes out and has to basically fight him. But yeah, I finished that middle grade novel, and so working on edits with that, and we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully something good in the near future.
Super. And with your release that's coming out tomorrow, you are going to school visits and you're doing story times and all of that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so I started story times. I kind of did like a mini book tour in May because my release date got pushed a little bit. So it's cool. I kind of get the experience of like 2 release day tours almost. But I've gotten to visit so many students, like not just locally, but I think I've traveled up to like 5 hours to do workshops with students. And I bring in the theater. I offer an art and drama workshop where I'll read the book and then we'll get up on our feet. We'll do a dance. This book is about, you know, confidence. And so the last school I visited, I taught them a dance to Demi Lovato's song Confident.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's a lot of fun. And I love getting to meet the readers, and it's just been great to have the readers look at the book and even be like, that looks like me, or I can relate to that story. And so I think that's the best part of this whole process to me, is meeting the readers.
That's awesome. And you know, something that I really enjoyed about the book was the diversity in it. The characters are all their own unique selves, and the main character is so vivacious and confident, like you said. Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about what's next. So you have 2 books coming out, one tomorrow, one in April. You have another book that's being edited. You are working in theater. You are teaching. What is next? A nap?
Oh, yes, a nap. Lots of rest, please. I mean, really, I take it step by step. And so, you know, once tomorrow comes, you know, I'm just going to be like full gear with my second book, Dazzling Travis. Like, I can't wait for that release in the spring. And so step by step, you know, continue to do story times and continuing to write. And
I think you should continue to write. And I think anyone tuning in, so the audience here, we've actually had, right now I see it's a classroom, it's a private school that has been tuning into some of these videos. So one of the things one of the audience members, you have classrooms who are tuning into this, and then you also have writers who want to be published tuning into this. So I mean, after having 100 rejections, I know that your personality requires perseverance and determination, because people would have given up and you did not give up. And then you went to submit Dazzling Travis to other publishers.
And I had 60 rejections for Dazzling Travis before you guys came along. And so
I can't believe anybody would reject that one. That was a fantastic story. Can't wait to share it with the world. So tell us, like, what would be, I mean, other than never giving up, is there any other advice you have for children out there listening and who are writing and who love and have a dream of illustration and, you know, writing and drama? What is your advice out to those children?
So definitely still, like, the never give up. Like I have to say that again, just because it's so true. My sister actually got me this necklace when I got my second book deal that said, "Nevertheless, she persisted," which was a quote from Hillary Clinton's book. But it seriously, like you have to push through. People are not gonna like some of the stuff you do because it's art. It's subjective that way, and it happens. So you have to persist. You have to keep putting yourself out there. And then my second advice would be just stay true to who you are. Know that just because somebody doesn't appreciate your art or like your art doesn't mean that you have to recreate it to be what they like. You know, yes, edit, yes, fine tune it, yes, polish it. But at the end of the day, you should be able to still look at that project and go, I love this project and this is me and this is my heart and this is what I wanted to write.
Oh, that's awesome advice. And I also have a question for you. With the middle grade novel, I got to see some of your, on Instagram, a little bit of a sneak peek on how that went. Tell me, with having two children and being a busy mom who's working, how did you find time to write? That's a big question a lot of writers have. Where did you find the time? How did you find the time? How did you structure it? Tell us a little bit about that.
For me, it was about making the time. I'm an evening writer. I cannot wake up early in the morning and write. I know some people that like to wake up before their kids. And I've actually filmed a couple vlogs on this subject. I did like a little skit with my daughter about, sometimes literally it would be during their nap time, and I would be writing out 20 minutes a day or something like that.
So did you have a time goal or a word count goal?
No, I never do word count goals. Having a word count goal doesn't motivate me. It's if I can get words on a page, I go for more of a time goal. So it's very low and it sounds low, but I do 20 minutes a day. And so just because 20 minutes doesn't sound like much, it's like, okay, I can take 20 minutes, the house can stay dirty for 20 minutes. Yeah. They're going to nap for at least 20 minutes. Yeah. And if I get more in, then that's great. But
and actually brain research says that you should not work more than 45-minute increments. You should have breaks within every 45 minutes because the brain can't produce more than 45 minutes quality work. So I think 20 minutes sounds great. Yeah. So, and there's actually a method of work. And I think there's an app too where you can like set a timer and every 45 minutes you get up and you walk around, but it's some type of a theory and it's all scientifically driven. So you're on the right track, girl. And then how many months would you say that took you, that project?
Oh, it took me a little over a year. So, it was a process. There are writers out there that finish a book in a month. That's not me. And I don't want that to be me because those are the same writers that are like, this is so hard. And, writing should never be that. You should be enjoying it. And it has its hard moments, but
yeah, you shouldn't force it. And I have a friend who, his name is Jonathan Rand, and I think he hit 100 books now. He writes chapter books, and he's pretty popular in the Michigan area. And I said, Jonathan, how are you cranking out 100 chapter books? And he said, listen, you can't compare yourself to anyone else. Like, I do what works for me. You do you. And his prime time, he wakes up at 3:30 in the morning, and and he gets a couple hours of writing in super early in the morning. And he's like, after that, I can't do it. I can't write. So like you said, you're an evening writer. Like anyone listening, you have to find what works for you and you have to stop the comparisons and just do you. And I love that message. And I think we should end on that message. You do you. Yes. Yeah. And for all of you tuning in, which we have a couple more viewers, and if you're in the replay, go ahead and rewind. But this is Hannah Carmona Diaz, and she is a children's book author. She has her new book coming out tomorrow. Tell us the title of your new book. I don't have it in front of me.
Beautiful, Wonderful, Strong Little Me.
And it's fantastic. I reviewed it on my blog. It'll be on Instagram. It was posted on our Instagram as well. Fantastic book. Check it out. Thank you for coming on today and sharing your journey with us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I can't wait to see more of you in the future. And good luck on all that you have to come.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.